All right, boys and girls, we're going to continue with our chocolate chip colored pencil technique cookies. Today, you're going to need one thing that is not in your kit, and that's a pair of scissors that are appropriate for you, which you should have by now. So I'm going to put these aside because I don't need them right now. You're going to need glue because we're going to cut out the cookies. I'm going to put that aside right now. You're going to need a pencil sharpener for obvious reasons. But again, on the side, and a little work table, colored pencils, and markers, and a regular pencil. Now, we're going to make the negative space. So the cookies are the positive space, and the background is the negative space. Now, you can do a couple things. You could just color the whole thing, and that would be... I would recommend doing at least 2 colors. So these are my cookies from last week, and I did not put any chips on. We're going to do that this week. But you can see they're just cookies here. This is my scrap paper. I really don't need it for this time, but I just want to keep track of it. So here's my blank sheet of paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a line, a horizon line, for lack of a better term. So I have these, this is like a ruler. You can use a piece of paper. I'm going to go ahead and throw out a horizon line. And I thought it would be super cute since we have cookies. There's a couple things you could do. You can make a glass of milk. You can make a jar. But I'm going to make a glass of milk in the background. It's going to make it a little more interesting. So to make a glass of milk, you can use, like I said, you could use a piece of paper. So very easily, like let's say I have a scrap piece of paper. I could fold this scrap piece of paper and make a little impromptu straight edge. And you can go ahead and there's one side of my glass. Maybe I don't want the glass over there. This is where having a pencil is kind of like a big deal. Normally, you know me, I don't. Oh, you know what else would be good from your kit? This thing, which you should have in your little art kit. I don't know why anybody, I mean, boys and girls, make sure your grown-up has gotten you your art kit. So I'm going to make things look further away and some things look closer. And we do that by size and how they live in space. And when we're talking about space, you're not just talking about where Jupiter and the sun are. We're talking about where things are in life. So, but there's the 2 straight edges. And I'm going to make a rounded bottom here. And I'm doing it very lightly. I know it's really hard to see. Someone's going to go, Ben, it's really hard to see. Yeah, it is. I know. And then I'm going to make a rounded bottom. You might even want to go from here to here and mark off where that, I'll show you. So you want to mark off, and you do the same thing on the bottom. So you want to think about like, okay, this is straight across, a little mark on this line and this line, okay? So there's a mark here and a mark there. And I'm going to arc. I'm going to make a rounded line and make it light until it's right. It's my new saying. Make it light until, if you're going to use a pencil, for the love of things, make it light until it's right. And look, boom. Now I have a glass of milk. Now I need to fill my milk, right? Because what's the point of having a glass of milk if it's not filled? And I'm going to put some milk. Just like here, you could even do the line. I know it's going to sound weird, but just hear me out. This is how you make it. If it doesn't turn out exactly like mine, did I do it wrong? No, it's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so this stuff in here is the milk. I'm going to take an eraser. And the way I'm going to make it look like milk Any milk you want on the milk. Get rid of that line. So remember, if it's full of milk, you can't see through the glass. However, where the glass is, you can kind of see through that. You got kind of like an edge. Okay, so now you're like, oh, Miss Em, what did you do? I'm going to show you how to do the milk first and the glass. I'm going to choose a color for the glass that kind of makes me think of the glass. So I'm going to outline the whole thing with blue. Weird, right? Because it's a clear glass and you can see the milk. Now what I'm not going to do is color anything where the milk is, because the milk is white. So I'm going to see how that's going to turn out in a minute. So there's going to be kind of a line here, so I'm going to that. You're probably like, that doesn't make any sense. It'll make sense. Watch what I do. So now I need to color the bottom. So I want to think about, well, what's going to make my cookie stand out? Where is this? Am I going to have patterns? You could do patterns for like, I don't know, whatever, a tablecloth. Some people like to put tablecloths out. So you want to think about like, where is this room? What's going on? What kind of stuff is going to make the wall red? So let's say there's a wall back here in my dining room. I have like a red wall. So behind here, I'm going to color red because remember, we could see through the glass. So I'm going to make a red wall. You can make a pattern wall. Make a red wall. That's really like what the color of my dining room wall is. I know it sounds weird. So when I'm sitting there, Miss Em sitting out, eat her cookies. So I love cookies. Big sun today. Eating her cookies. There's a red wall behind me. Sounds very strange, but you can see the top of its glass. You can see through the glass because it is a clear glass. And I'm going to go ahead and color the wall in. Well, now I got to think about, well, what is down here? These cookies, maybe they're sitting on a table. Maybe there's a placemat. Now you could have several colors for the wall. Like, remember we layered colors for, like if I was doing this whole thing, this is where I go a little crazy, a little bonkers. I would use my other art sticks, but I'm not going to do it because I'm trying to demo with the materials that you guys have available. Now, then, can I use my own not crayons, can I use my own colored pencils? Absolutely, please. If you got a nice set of colored pencils and maybe you have some different colors, maybe you just like using them better. These are not bad color pencils, don't get me wrong. These plain color pencils I'm quite happy with. We got a little bit of overlap in there. I need to go back. Anyway, if you have some really good colored pencils, then you want to use them. Means go for it. These are not be-all, end-all colored pencils, and as long as you are using colored pencils and you are doing a proper technique, I don't want to see a bunch of lines, even though this ends kind of. Go over this again. And add some other color. So I'm going to layer some stuff on here. I might actually come back and what other color? In my room, it's kind of like orangey color, like this. Put some orange down. See, we practice this, and you can add multiple layers, and it kind of gives a little depth to the color. Check that out. I mean, already it's looking better. I thought. I don't know. Be careful you don't make lines that are too harsh. I found and lost my, what do you call it? Sandpaper again. Well, lost it. I found it. I wanted to show you my sandpaper that I have. I have a little book of sandpaper that I use for pencils, not just colored pencils, but also graphite. I say lead. Nobody uses lead in pencils. It's a graphite, to be honest. So, but you want to kind of make, sometimes you want to make a blunt, meaning not pointed. The opposite of being pointy is to be blunt. For certain techniques that work. So I'm going to add another layer of color. And I don't even mind that like there's these streaks there. It kind of adds to it. Okay, so this is the wall. Now I need to think about where are my cookies living here. So maybe I have a tablecloth going on. Like I was saying, maybe there's a pattern. Let's add a pattern. Patterns are really interesting. Elements of art. It's a blue. I don't know. Well, let's go with blue. No, I have blue going on already. What colors we got for a nice tablecloth? Ooh, pink. Pink. Or green. Pink. Okay, we're going pink. Now, I still have a straight edge, or you could use your handy dandy and you could make some lines. Now remember, don't go through the milk. The milk is white. You can't see through the milk. But perhaps I have a striped tablecloth because, you know, who knows? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. So you can do a little impromptu. You could even, if you want to make it longer, fold your, this is only scrap paper, quite honestly, so it doesn't even matter if it gets folded. I use it to keep my sketchbook clean. Put some lines there. Now I'm going to color between the lines. So, and that's going to make a pattern. Patterns are interesting. Now you see, because I don't color in where the milk is, it makes it stand out. So even though I drew the glass on the paper, and it wasn't that hard, let's be honest. You can make a smaller cup. You can make a good glass for cookies. Some people are serious about their milk and cookies. I know I am. And let's face it, if you're having chocolate chip cookies, it's better than milk. Pretty cool, huh? All right, I'm going to come back when I'm done with this. I want to push this back so that right now it pushes back. You could do it with black. I happen to be doing it with purple, and that kind of pushes that back. And then I'm going to make a shadow. Think about where the light's coming from. The light's back here or over there. We're going to make a shadow. Let's do the shadow going this way. This way I can just do it across. And then you can go ahead and color this in a dark color now. This is going to make the milk stand out more, and you can even go back in and color the shadow more. You can add some shadows with the cookies if you want. I'll be back in a second. And boys and girls, I even went one step further and did a little extra. So my shadow was purple. I'm going to take some black. Shadows actually have a range of value, and they go from darker to lighter. So I put a little black on the bottom, and that pushes it back. So now I have a good base for putting my cookies in. And there's my glass of milk, because you know what? I'm going to have some milk. You can make a cookie jar. You can make whatever makes you happy, let's be honest. So I'm You guys should be old enough to know how to cut out stuff. If you know, for the older kids. But if you don't, the right hand or if you're left-handed, your left hand, the dominant hand, the hand that controls the scissor hand, it just opens and closes. My other hand moves the paper around. Well, it's supposed to anyway. So I'm going to keep cutting, turn this, follow the road of the pencil. Let's see. That's 2 cookies. Another cookie. Da-da. But if you do it wrong, there is no wrong. It is what it is. So those people who didn't follow directions and drew the cookies in a pile, redo it. Those of you that did what you were supposed to do, you cut your cookies out now. We're going to pile them up. So we're going to make some space. Remember that space thing? Yeah. So depending on how you pile your cookies, you can use all the cookies, you can use some of the cookies. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that maybe you have like a cookie in the front and you got some cookies piled up here. And then it kind of, because the cookies are now in front of your glass of milk, you can start putting your cookies down. I would recommend that you do not, it's a lot of glue, you do not put the glue on this. You want to put the glue on, put the cookie down, put the glue on. So it's going to look like you're looking at the table and the milk is further away. So maybe there's like a cookie on top of a cookie, on top of a cookie. What? So many cookies. So somebody right now is saying, Miss M, you said these were chocolate chip cookies. I see no chips. I say, you're right. We didn't get to that part yet. Hold on. Hold on, people. And try to think about like how you're arranging them. Does this look like a pile of cookies to you, or does it look ridiculous? Always a question. Does this look ridiculous? Do I look ridiculous? And sometimes I don't care. All right, once I got all my cookies down, like I have a big pile of cookies, I'm going to sit down and go to town. Make sure you snap your glue. I'm going to put it away. Remember those markers? What? Markers, Ethan. Use markers. Now, I'm going to use brown because I love chocolate chip cookies. Some people may opt, and this is a personal preference. This is not mine. You could put the chips on before or after you pile them on. Okay. So somebody right now is going, I want to put the chips on and then glue the cookies down. It's fine. It's all fine. Or somebody right now is going, I already have chips on my cookie. Again, it's fine. It's all fine. To make my cookies stand out, a little shadow underneath them, because that's going to make them take up space. But now you thought about the cookies are the positive, really washed out. The cookies are the positive space, and the milk, and the negative space is everything else. And you're creating space. Look how much closer the cookies look than my little glass of milk. Unless, of course, they're like those big giant cookies. All right, boys and girls. Do you have to have a glass of milk? No. You could skip the glass of milk and just throw your cookies on the table. Could you put a plate down? Sure, plates are fine. I did the pattern on the wall last time instead of on the table. I tried to do a table. Oh, you know what? If you want to, you can take a white and add a little, like, you know how the chocolate gets shiny? You could do that if you wanted. You don't have to, but you could. All right. Check it out. Cookies and milk and such interesting texture. Don't forget to save your scrap paper because I don't know what we're doing next week. And put all of your materials away so you have them for next week because we are doing another project. Have a great day.